was synchronicity that I needed at this point. I'm experiencing a really challenging period in my life.
Congratulations. How exciting. Challenges are representative of the themes you chose to explore in this life. Challenges don't have to be negative. Challenges can be defined as fun.
Part of what I'm thankful for is the fact that over time I learned that sort of attitude from your teachings.
Yes.
But this particular challenge I'm having
Yes.
is not something that I'm finding.
Well, would you care to share some specifics?
My best friend and partner for my entire adult life committed suicide.
All right. Because?
She spiraled out of control.
Because?
I think that's part of what I'm asking for your...
Because she was never given the tools to understand how self-empowered she was. You understand?
I tried to bridge that gap with her, and we made some friends who seemed to be synchronistically drawn to us at the time when we would need that kind of support.
But it wasn't enough.
It did not.
Understand that when people are not raised understanding the tools, they also may not have the tool to understand the tools. In other words, they simply have created a reality where they make it incapable of learning the tools. That can be one of the things that they've learned.
Right.
Is you can't learn anything else.
Yeah, that was, she was pretty stuck.
All right. But you understand now she's not. She is a free spirit and understands now the dynamics that happened in the life and understands how to add that knowledge to her spiritual growth. Yes? You understand that she's okay now.
I struggle with that.
Why? What are your beliefs about the idea of transitioning into spirit?
So people have told me different things. I've heard that
such as
people who commit suicide are stuck in a karmic loop where they have to resolve the thing that they refuse to acknowledge.
Excuse me, you can't hear it, but I'm laughing. That is an idea that someone can choose to experience, but it's not an automatic thing. It's only based on whatever the strongest beliefs are of the person who made the transition. Now, let's give the most extreme scenario in, let's just say, religious terms, because that's something relatively familiar to most of you.
Right.
Many people feel that, all right, I've been a bad person, and when I die, I'm going to go to hell.
Sure.
Understand that in spirit, physical materiality, while it sort of can still be experienced in some way, is not really physical in the way you understand physicality. And time and space are much more flexible than what you experience in your physical life.
Sure.
So even if someone crossed over and found themselves standing in the fires of hell, the instant they went, oh, I really don't prefer this at all, they would be out of it. Because there's no time lag in spirit. And that instant transition to something different would be the first lesson in understanding that it's their choice to create their reality as they see fit. So while your friend may have, at first, experienced a little bit of a jolt of whatever the belief systems were that made it seem to be the logical choice to take her life, the instant she realized that that was not necessarily something she preferred, she'll experience something completely different. And most everyone will go through what you classically call life review. There's no judgment on it. You just automatically understand all the things and all the choices and all the consequences of the choices, and you, in a sense, sort of re-experience them, but from a different point of view, a little bit more of a detached point of view. It's kind of like sort of being given a refresher lesson about what happened and what you chose and what you did with it. but there's no judgment on it. You will understand, all right, well, I made some choices that weren't necessarily to my benefit in the way that they could have been, but I can still learn from that, and I can still grow from that, and therefore it's okay. And when people get into spirit, one of the first things they experience is they really don't want any of you to worry that they're not okay, because they are okay. They really are. You follow?
I follow that she's okay. I don't feel okay.
Well, I know, but that's only because of your definitions of what's going on. So the idea is to remove the limitations from your own definition so that you understand that sometimes the timing of one person who you are very close to going into spirit before you, no matter what the methodology they may have chosen, is an opportunity for you to stretch yourself to reconnect to them. So in other words, going into spirit is an invitation to you from her to reach for her. And that starts putting your attention more in the direction of the spiritual concepts that will actually assist you in life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm here right now as well.
Yes. So by allowing yourself to know that she is still in existence, closer than you think, many of you are really only separated from the spirit realm by just about this much frequency. And in fact, it's actually closer than that. Let me inform you of something. This is how it works. Understand that in a sense, I'm just going to use these terms to make it an easy illustration. In a sense, spirit is your natural state. Physical reality is just a projection of consciousness. You never actually leave spirit to become physical. Your spirit doesn't leave the spirit realm and go into a physical body.
Right.
You are still in spirit right now with her. You've never left. Neither of you ever left spirit. You are just still dreaming that you've left. She's woken up from that dream. But you're both there. So she is interacting with you on a whole other level of yourself that is already in spirit. The more you raise your frequency to become more your version of the you that is always in spirit, the more sensitive your physical senses will be to being capable of communicating with her in spirit, because you are already there with her and have never left. So you will start being able to see through the dream of physical reality, which is one of the reasons she left before you did. Because you had an agreement that she would help you learn how to be more of yourself. And this is one of the ways in which she's helping you do that, by reminding you through us that you are both in spirit right now, and that you're only dreaming that you're not, and only dreaming that you're separated, which you're not.
Yeah, I have the intuition of that being true, and I feel that urge to reach to her.
Then do so and see what synchronicity brings you that will hone your senses so that in time you will actually know that you are communicating, and you will not feel that there is really any kind of a disconnect.
Did I attract this circumstance to myself?
You both agreed to it. You both agreed that this is how it would work, that this is what you would need at this point in your life to elevate you to another level. We understand that from the physical human perspective, it can at first feel painful and that you can miss the person. We understand the concept of your grief, and we're not invalidating it at all. We're simply saying you can take that energy and understand that it is the energy you're feeling of them. Many times when you grieve, when you miss them, when you cry at what you perceive to be their absence, the paradox is the reason you're feeling that is because they're actually with you. Do you understand? Many times when you remember them and you suddenly find yourself crying, that's actually your reaction to the fact that they're with you. Because you're interpreting the fact that they're with you as they're not being with you. And that's why it goes into grief, instead of actually feeling their energy and going, oh, you're here. Do you understand? They are actually present with you when you're grieving.
Right.
That's what you're feeling, and that's why you grieve. You grieve because you sense their presence, except you're sensing it through a negative filter, a negative definition that they're not with you.
Yeah, I have a strong belief in life extension and quality of life extension. So
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
imagined us living together for hundreds of years.
You will live together forever, just not always in the same plane of existence at the same time, but that doesn't mean you can't be in touch. Would you grieve as much if she simply had moved to a different city than you?
No, I was mad the last time I saw her. And I would have still been mad if I hadn't come to understand what happened to her after.
All right. But again, moving into spirit is no different than moving to a different city, that's all.
It feels a lot more permanent and
And
separate.
why does it feel that way? Because of what you've been taught to believe about the idea of the difference between physical and non-physical reality, when there isn't as much difference as you think.
Right. That's another tricky part of this is,
Yes.
this has been a long process by which over the last maybe 2 years, my life has
Yes.
changed dramatically.
Yes.
And she and I experienced a kind of mutual psychosis that left me searching for something. And
Yourself, most likely.
I think I stumbled upon more of myself along the way. I experienced improbable and delicate chain of synchronicities that
Yes.
led me to a new career.
Yes.
Coincidentally, I'm also now playing poker professionally.
All right. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And by the way, this question actually comes from her. Who do you think helped you do that? How about some credit where credit is due? You weren't alone in finding that path. She was with you and helped you. Turn here, look at that. Pay attention to this. Look at that synchronicity. She's been with you. She's never really left. I'm not saying spirits hang around waiting for you to call them. They have lives of their own, but she will always be with you when you need her to be. And it's easier for her to do that, again, in spirit, because space and time are not barriers there. So again, when you feel the grief, feel it. That's all right. Just understand that what you're feeling is actually the energy of her presence. And that when you are grieving and crying and missing her, you are processing her energy to help you understand that she's actually with you. If you actually start going fully through the grieving process, you will actually, at the end of the grieving process, when you finally let go of those definitions that are negative, you will actually be able to feel her very strongly. Yes?
I did feel in the original difficulty that we shared together that there was a way of understanding it that seemed very much like that she was beckoning me down some path that I didn't understand.
Yes. But again,
it's just so different than the concept of what I expected of my life to be.
congratulations. Why would you want your life to be everything you expect it to be? How boring would that be? Well, I guess I know what's going to happen for the next 50 years. I might as well kill myself.
Yeah, but I could take some comfort in that. It's like.
Can you really?
No.
Trust me, you won't. Trust me, you won't. You may think you will, but you won't. As soon as you become restless, you'll start looking for adventure. You'll start looking for a challenge. You'll know you're not growing. And as soon as you know you're not growing, you will feel like you're dying.
Yeah. I went through that.
And then you'll start living.
I wanted to die when I felt like I had put myself in a corner where my growth was no longer on the path that it could be the highest version of myself.
Many of you will do that. You will force yourselves into a corner, because when you're in the corner, there's nothing to do but turn around and see the way out. Now, again, if you're not given the tools to do that, you may actually take yourself out because you don't see, you can't know that you can turn around and see the way out. But you had enough understanding, and she also helped you understand that you could simply turn around once you were in the corner and find your way toward her, toward the light, in your own way. Yes? Because if you actually did take yourself out, trust me, when you arrived in spirit, she'd be standing there going, that wasn't the point. You missed the point. I was trying to give you an information to help you. You missed the point. Oh, well, let's move on. So don't miss the point that she's attempting to give you. Live. Live. Because there are many people who are physically alive who are dead inside. Don't be a zombie. Unless you wish to be.
Nah.
Just remember that a real zombie doesn't eat others. They eat themselves alive. Yes? Isn't that a lovely thought? Keep walking. Keep moving forward. You're fine. She's fine. You're working together still. Lighten up on yourself.
I know I need to lighten up on myself for sure.
Then just do it. There's no reason not to except the ones you create.
Right.
That would be her message to you. Just do it. It'll be fine. Just do it. Trust her. Yes?
Just the way that I connected with whatever flow of whatever essential quality took me from being so low to this life path that I'm really pleased and excited by.
Yes.
It's such a contrast from making that transformation in myself as compared to now this
Yes.
difficulty that I have.
You don't have difficulty until you define that you do. There is no such thing as an inherently difficult situation.
Are you saying it would be possible for me to really be like completely okay and happy about this?
I am saying it is absolutely possible, and not only possible, but highly probable that you can be absolutely happy and okay about this. Because being okay and happy means you'll be experiencing the things that are reflective of your happiness. It's not that you're going to be happy about the way things are, it's that you're going to be happy about the way things will be when you let yourself get there. So you may not be in that state right now, but you can be in that state. And when you're in that state, things will be experienced differently that will be representative and reflective of the fact that you're happy. Yes?
Yeah, I find
you don't have to
solace-
believe it right now. Just keep walking toward it.
It's like every day I wake up.
Well,
and
that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Every day, wake up. That's enough. Just keep doing that. The things will come to you that you need to show you where your happiness lies. She's working with you. Let her in. Don't keep her at bay. Don't push her away. Don't be angry. Let her in. All right? That'll do.
Thanks.
Pleasant dreams.
Thank you.